Did you have yours?
May we call this meeting to order? It is 1:30. And hopefully we will not have a lengthy meeting. The agenda is pretty concise today. That's a good thing, right?
Very good.
So welcome everyone.
Thank you.
I hope I've seen most of you, and I'm assuming everyone had a nice holiday season. And we are welcoming Liz back after being out on maternity leave. We're glad to have her back with us. Today's her first day. We're not going to overburden her, though.
Please don't.
So, anyway,
Wait until tomorrow.
until tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow will be the day.
So we have a quorum. We're all here practically. We are missing one. Thank you for all being here. And just a quick reminder again that this is an open meeting and we have to abide by the open meeting laws. So, do we have any announcements from members of the board? For the community at large? Yes, Pat?
Well, I'll just add one. I did go to a Minuteman meeting. I've gone to two, actually. One was a personal meeting, and then I attended their monthly meeting last week. And I'm just going to pass out something that was in the packet that gives statistics on Littleton only for last year, which might be of interest to people, just to show services that we received.
Great, that's good information to have, thank you.
I had sent Liz an email to request a meeting with her to talk about the representative from the COA to
Okay.
Minuteman.
Do you have another? Oh,
Yeah, they are right there.
Did you want, anybody want?
you want one, Barbara? Yes.
Okay, Barbara.
It's just nice to know how many people in our town are serviced by the Minuteman.
Well, it's interesting.
Senior services.
And I think it would be interesting to the public who might be watching too, that it says right here, bullet, highlighted. In fiscal year 18, 717 Littleton residents used Minuteman services at a value of $979,180. So, there's
That's
no
a lot
question.
of money.
And if people don't understand what Minuteman Services is, please call the COA office and someone in the office or
Yeah.
Liz will explain it to you if you have questions about it. So please pay attention. Minuteman Services is an integral part of the services that we receive in this town.
Just a very brief description, what they are. They're aging services. There's 26 across the state that each have a region that they cover, and they provide services that are state funded. So this is all state funds paying for these services.
So we're very fortunate actually to have this.
Very fortunate.
Yeah. Any other comments about Minuteman? Nope. Oh yes, Nancy, would you like to come up with your near a microphone?
This is very short. Just, this might be something you want to put in the awareness, for your awareness committee to let people know.
Oh, yeah, good idea. Take a note, awareness subcommittee. That is a good idea. Do we have other announcements? Hearing none, no. I have one. I just would like to remind people about the fact that Littleton Cafe, over next to the Neshoba Garage, right on King Street here, almost directly across from Shattuck Street. The Littleton Cafe offers lunch to seniors every Tuesday, $3, and you can choose anything off from their her luncheon menu. On top of that, once a month on Tuesday, Badger's Funeral Home pays for all of the lunches that seniors get on a Tuesday. So you never know which Tuesday it's going to be though. You have to just go. And there will be a sign up on the day that he chooses, and it will say that lunches are the or contribution, or I forget the exact wording of it, but Badgers is picking up the tab, so to speak. Once a month, every Tuesday. He's been faithfully been doing that for months now. So Seniors, get yourself out. If not for the nice lunch you might get, but for some companionship and talking with other seniors, because there are seniors there.
Is that on Tuesdays?
Every
Every
Tuesday.
Tuesday, okay.
Yep. It's not every Tuesday that Badgers pays, but.
But it's
you
on a
get-
Tuesday,
Yeah,
yeah.
and, you know, lunch is $3, and she has wonderful food. So. All right, that was the only announcement I had. I just wanted to remind people so they can take advantage of it. Moving on, if there's no other announcements, can we explore accepting the minutes of the December 10th, 2018 meeting?
I move that we accept the meeting of the minutes of the December 10th meeting.
And I second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded that the minutes of December 10th be accepted as written. All those in favor? Aye. No, anyone opposed? No. No abstentions. Thank you. That was quick. Friends, come join us.
Okay.
You have a copy of the Friends minutes from the last meeting, I believe it is, in your packets.
You haven't had one since December 5th?
Well, they have to be approved. We don't get the minutes until they approve them, you know, that is the case with us, really. So those are the last approved minutes. They did have a meeting in January, but the
Okay.
minutes haven't been approved yet.
Okay. All right. Okay, first of all, the Friends want to thank the Littleton Track Organization because they presented the Friends of the COA with a check for $2,708.
Wow.
Which we really, really appreciated. We will be getting another check, which I'm not going to tell you about yet because we haven't received it. So I want to make sure that we tell you the right amount, but it'll be from the Middlesex Bank.
Oh, nice. Very
Yeah.
nice.
So the Littleton
Track.
Track.
TRAK?
CCK.
Oh, so the truck,
Yeah.
okay.
$2,708.
Okay.
Wow, thank you, Littleton Track Association.
Yeah.
Isn't that great?
Very nice for supporting seniors.
We were very happy. Donna Goodwill came and presented it to us. And
Nice.
Mark Saucier had called me a while back to tell me that they might, after the track race, have something for us.
Wow, that's
So-
really, really nice.
Really good.
Very nice.
I thanked him over and over.
Yes.
Yeah. And the senior luncheon, that is tomorrow, January 16th. We're taking a trip to Mexico this time.
Tomorrow.
Wednesday?
Wednesday. Oh, I'm sorry, Wednesday, not tomorrow.
Don't rush the month.
Yeah. We've already had, I think, over 90 people sign up, which, you know, we really are happy when we see those numbers and that they're coming to join us. Okay, and then we want to also thank Whole Foods because they've been very good about catering. They'll cater this one and they did the last one, and El Forno is still catering some for us also. And we do love the food from both places. So we're happy about that. And I want to thank the young elders from the Mormon Church who every Tuesday come and help me in the storage room. I think it is, I mean, they are, two young gentlemen come every Tuesday. Sometimes they're different because they have to move to another state or something, but they always send me new volunteers. And I have to say, they do a lot of work and it helps me a bunch. So we kind of make a mess out in the hall for a while, but then we clean it up, so. But they are great, great kids. And also, I'm speaking of the thrift shop, we're going to welcome Sandra Cassell as the new manager.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Yay, yeah.
Thank you, Sandra. And she'll take over in February when we host a coffee for the volunteers and welcome new volunteers. I want you to know I haven't quit. I still intend to support the work that she will be doing and help her any way she wants me.
Spell her last name.
Cassell. A-L-E. And Sandra is in Garden Club with me, and she was president last 2 years. So, she's very professional, so we're gonna do well.
Oh, that would be very nice. We look forward to meeting her.
Yeah. She works on Thursday mornings, if anybody wants to stop by and say hi. And thank her for me. Okay, and we want the Littleton seniors, and Margie might mention it, I don't know. We want them and the soon-to-be seniors and even younger to know that the Council on Aging and the Friends have been meeting to work on the needs of the seniors population.
We have that down as an agenda item
Good.
later.
Excellent. So we'll tell you about the first meeting and how you can help us. That's what I want to get out there. So, actually, it's nice to get help and donations.
No.
Just want to throw that in there a little bit.
It's really extra special when you get the donations. I think.
Yeah, yeah.
And help too. I don't want to minimize that.
I can't tell you about the next donation, but you're going to be very happy.
Great. Well, we're happy. We have wonderful volunteers. You do. It's just wonderful people that.
Well, okay, so the next Friends Luncheon is in February, of course, and it's going to be a Valentine's theme. This time, we're going to be off to romantic Paris. So we're having a French, we hope we have a French cuisine. It'll be as close as we can get it. And that's going to be on February 13th, and you can sign up at the COA office. And if I've forgotten anything, I know that my friend Nancy Levine will be here to finish the news. So thank you.
Thank you.
And hi to Liz.
You're gonna get the French restaurant to do that one?
I'm sorry?
You're gonna get the French restaurant to do that one?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Shay, what's that French one? Shay.
Leonade.
Oh,
No,
we're not
Leonade.
having the
Leonade.
French restaurant. They're
Leonade,
way too, well, shh, I don't want to say that on TV. A little bit expensive
Does
for
it
us.
meet your budget?
We're working on it ourselves. Although I won't cook for you, forget that one. But we're looking, we think we know what we're gonna have, and they'll find out through our flyers and news.
Great.
But,
I see your article was in Action Unlimited many times. They're very nice. Very, very nice.
Thank Nancy for that.
Nancy does those, I think.
Even if I write one, she writes it over anyway.
Very, very nice.
Okay.
Thank you.
We're grateful for the Action Unlimited because the Independent has not been sending printing.
Oh,
Yeah.
they don't put Littleton news in there
I
ain't much
do.
anyway, on the Sun.
I do want to mention something that Nancy and Dottie and I talked to the gal that does the Littleton Independent News, and we had complained really loudly to her that why do they call this the Littleton Independent when it's independent of Littleton, and they don't do our news when and then Nancy has gotten in touch with her multiple times and said, please have it in this week. Nothing. Have it in this week. Nothing. So, she said she understands, but the Littleton Independent, which I think is, and she's telling me they're saving money by doing it this way. It goes through about 9 different people, Texas, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, till it gets to the printer. Why? And you're saving money? I don't get it, but we're going to be complaining a lot about this because we told her people are not buying the paper because of this.
Yes, it
No, I don't buy it.
And apparently they don't care. So they should call it the Westford Independent or whatever.
The Westford Eagle already is printed by them,
But they,
Well, the thing is,
They-
they're putting all the Westwood notices in the Littleton Independent.
yeah, and they're doing world news in it and things that we can get elsewhere. We want to know what's going on in Littleton. Okay, I've
agree.
complained.
Again. We have an event coming up, Coffee with the Editor, in February.
Yeah,
So
she
come
just
and
had
tell
one.
her, yeah.
She just had one.
We just had one
And
at the
that's what we
library.
went to complain.
Oh,
We
complain
met her at
again?
her
In the
meeting.
library.
Complain again?
Yeah.
Keep complaining.
Well,
Come
She
again.
just has them once a month.
Yeah.
But what's the point?
But she's going to come
I'm not
to the
happy with
COA.
the
She was
sun.
at this end of the building, just a week ago.
Mhm.
And actually it was a week ago today.
She promised
And
us.
then she's gonna be at the COA end of the building on February 4th. So please come, people. Come
Well,
down and talk to the editor because it is an issue, it's not just us sitting here. I think other people in town are
Oh,
a
yeah,
little
the
upset.
churches are.
Yes.
she is gonna be a guest on my show for February. And
Good.
I'm gonna be very sweet.
That'll be
Like I,
difficult.
yeah.
All right, man.
What's the date in February?
Fourth. At what time is it? 11 o'clock. Thank you.
And it's a tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Or
The library announced tea or coffee, and there was no tea and coffee.
heavens. Oh.
And they didn't even know she was coming. And it was in the Littleton Independent that she was coming.
Well, that's because nobody buys the paper anymore. She's speak of.
Yeah, they didn't read it.
Anyway.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Yes.
So I did enjoy the meeting that we had between the two groups, the COA and the Friends. We gathered a lot of information. We have a lot of work to do, a lot. And we need everyone to chip in and help. And so as we get more organized, we'll be sending out notices throughout the town, I hope. And we hope to come up with a plan really soon, but we have to meet more often. And now that Liz is back, all her free time is gone. The school department is going to let us know when the annual luncheon is, but it's not going to be spaghetti this time. It's going to be a pizza party with salad and dessert and all those good things.
April?
We don't know, yeah, in April, but we don't know when.
Yeah.
I just heard today we don't know when yet, but I'll know soon, and then I'll let everyone know. The third graders are coming to Wednesday morning to decorate the diner for Valentine's Day. And that's ongoing until the May. The book buddies have stopped for the winter because we usually have snow. And we're supposed to start again in March. So that's about it all I have unless you have questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, thank you for everything.
Nancy, I didn't quite understand. What will it be, the pizza party?
The town's annual luncheon for the seniors.
From the school.
The school, right?
The school.
The school, sorry,
School
the school.
department.
Oh, okay.
It usually is spaghetti, but this time it's going to be pizza
Pizza and salad.
and salad.
Reminds me of high school.
Yeah.
There was pizza and salad.
There you go.
Yeah.
I love that pizza.
Okay. Thank you both. All right. We have a standing item under old business about update from the Town Building and Space Needs Analysis Working Group. And actually, there has not been a meeting since November 28th. So there's not a lot to update you on, other than the fact that the work is still going on, and there are things going on right now relating to that group, and the group should be holding a meeting in another week or so. But I have nothing specific to get back to you with, essentially, since that November meeting, so. And that's under old business. And then the update on the planning board hearing on Cricket Lane, that was postponed. And so because the planning board has only 4 members right now, and they will be getting, another board member will be appointed by the selectmen, but they decided to hold off until there were 5 members because of the quorum
On the planning board.
on the planning board. So that, for example, if it was, the hearing was about the aquifer and the, septic systems and being so close to the water and out that way. And so the contractors decided to wait until the board had 5 members. Because if you have 4 members, 3 is a quorum, no, it's a board of 5. So I believe they still need 3 for a quorum. So, but they decided to postpone it, so there's nothing to report, basically. And that brings us, under old business, up to an update from the Awareness Subcommittee, which had an exciting meeting last week, so.
By design.
That is a true statement.
You're
Maybe we should
So-
have Mary leave.
So we did meet on Friday, and we talked about the fact that Liz was coming back on Monday, and the town directory will get back on to working on that. The other thing that we talked about and worked on, and I thought I had it all fixed, and oh, by the way, it's not, is the poster for the What's for Lunch. And as soon as I can get that all collated and together.
Poster for them.
I'm sorry?
What's for lunch?
What's for lunch? It's a poster to encourage seniors to come to the diner for lunch.
And to
Actually-
come to the cafe, right?
No, it's just a senior diner. So
Actually, excuse me, but my copy was fine, except that it was on 2 pages, and I had to just,
Well, so then Nancy printed it out, and the typeface on Littleton COA is wrong. Although actually, no, the whole thing is changed. My original one was not like that.
okay,
No,
well,
because-
whenever you decided it's set, I know I have a responsibility with that, so, as soon as you know it's set, let me know.
Okay,
So yours is one way, hers is
another
different.
way.
And the one that she has is different, and the one I open up is different.
So the ones that
don't know why.
the discussion was that the print is on the side. If you print them on a computer, it will come out like this.
Oh.
If you print them on a computer. If you pull them up on an
Anything
iPad
else.
or an iPhone, it comes up with the type on the
On
side,
the side.
okay?
Yeah.
That's one thing. We did get the Littleton COA put in, and we also put it in down here on a color copy. This is in red and bold, the phone numbers to have people call, one to make reservations for lunch, and the other one to get a free ride to the COA. If you're coming for lunch, you can call for the van to come and pick you up, and you don't have to pay for it, it is free. So I just have to change this.
And they're 2 different numbers.
They are two
They
different
are,
numbers,
and I know they,
And
but they should be,
they should be.
yes.
I know.
Have you made a restriction as far as up to what time you can call for the van?
No, I have no idea how that works.
I mean, they can't call immediately and say, I want to go
Supposed
to
to call
lunch.
the day
We'd like
before
some
as
notice.
far
The
as
day
I
before,
know.
isn't it?
Yep.
The day before?
Ideally, as soon as possible, but a day before, we can usually
I would
fit
say
you in.
24 hours notice.
Maureen's going, it's another thing to add to this.
No, I can't add much more onto this. I mean,
Right.
really and truly, every time I turn around and I add one more line
It
to it and
moves
one more
everything.
line to
It
it, it
moves.
throws everything off.
Right.
People who get the broadcaster know that you should be calling in advance. Hopefully. Hopefully.
Well, that is true. It's clearly spelled out in the broadcast.
Right.
Where are the flyers going? Where are you
They're gonna
putting
be-
those?
Churches, drugstore, library, Dunkin' Donuts, Market Basket. We're just trying to get the word out as much as we can.
Light department, put it in their newsletter.
Like
They'll put the whole little flyer,
Okay.
right, Nancy?
Is that the posters
Well,
that at the
call them and
awareness
find out,
meeting that
'cause
we
that's a
each
good one.
distributed? No?
I don't know, I wasn't available to remember that.
Oh, okay.
Moving on. The last thing that I want to bring up is the discussion about getting some information out to the seniors about the need for a senior center. And we talked about the article being a who, what, when, where, why, and some discussion we had some information that we still need to get before we can write up this article. And then as soon as we can get some of this information from, we were waiting for you to come back, and we were also going to get from the town clerk some numbers. And moving on, then try and get an article in the paper.
I said I'd do the draft.
Right
I'd
after we
start the
yell at
ball
the-
rolling by doing the
right
draft.
after we yell at
I
the
didn't
lady.
say I'd do all that.
Right, after we yell at her, then we tell her we want something in the paper. The
I
ex
will be doing the
officio
draft.
member.
Yes. I said I'd do the draft because somebody needs to get, you just need to start a draft and then everybody can add to it and rearrange and whatever. After today, I said I'd do it. So, and I will.
And that's all I have.
Yes,
Our
Nancy.
next meeting is
Oh,
in
sorry.
February on the, I believe it's the 8th.
8th, I think.
Yes.
I believe it's the 8th.
I was hoping we could fit a meeting in before then.
For the sub-awareness?
No, for the.
Oh, well, wait, yeah, that's on our agenda,
Oh,
under
okay.
space for senior center. It's under new business.
Okay, I
No,
think that's all I
anything for
have
the
for
sub-
sub-awareness.
The awareness subcommittee. They know they have a lot of, work coming up to get information out and to help educate the public about many things.
And we will need another person, hopefully, who can join the board soon to join us.
Right, we are functioning, right now, been functioning with one less board member than we're supposed to have for 6 months now.
What's the latest on that? I thought after 3 meetings, According to the rules.
Anthony, as I understand it, Anthony has been in touch with, Dr. Michaels.
okay, good.
So that's all I have about the sub-awareness.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You've been doing a lot, and I'm sure it's gonna continue. So-
It's getting to be a little bit much.
I understand that also, so, and I empathize with you. So. Okay, and that segues us right into the new business under, the first item is A, space for a senior center, but B is a piece of business new business that we need to attend to, and maybe we could do that first. Can I?
Sure.
Can we move it up?
You can
It
do
won't
it.
take very long. And then we can spend the remainder of the time on the space for a senior center and our reports. Is that okay?
Yes.
All right. So, Bob, we're gonna be taking up the donation acceptance first. And we have a donation from the Henry Vincent Cooper Charitable Foundation. And I will read you, this came, Cheryl Gould. A lot of people know Cheryl's, who she is. She is the co-trustee of this foundation. And she sent a letter explaining that they have awarded $7,500 for the Council on Aging Energy Assistance Program. And so it is earmarked for a specific program. And our job is to vote to accept this money, and then it goes to the selectmen for their continuing, approval.
Wouldn't that go through Tina finally at the end?
Well, it goes into the fund.
Yeah,
Yes, just
yeah.
Tina and Nicole have access,
Yes,
when dealing with
yes.
clients. So, I will entertain a motion.
I move.
Moved.
Second.
Did you get a motion there, Bob?
Fine, go ahead.
You're fine?
A
Okay.
motion to accept Cooper's
The Vincent Cooper Charitable Foundation.
Foundation, $7,500
And
energy assisted program donation.
recommend to
being
the
Tread.
selectmen that it be
That being
accepted.
Tread?
No, no.
Separate.
That's not the Cooper Foundation. All of it goes to the Energy Assistance Program. It is designated by the charitable organization where they wish the money to go. And that is where they have designated the money to go, $7,500. Okay? Back to the motion. We have a motion on the table to
I second.
recommend accepting the donation You seconded it.
Yes, I have.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Oppositions, opposing, none, and no abstentions. And the second one we had is, there is a donation from the John C. Morrison and Eunice B. Morrison Charitable Foundation in the amount of $2,500. And that amount, this is not the first time we've been fortunate enough to receive a donation from them. And it has been split in the past, and we would like to recommend to the selectmen that it be split again to $1,250 to TREAD, which is the tax relief for the elderly and disabled.
Yes.
Yeah, had to stop and think about the T, R. And $1,250 towards the van and transportation, basically the transportation fund. And the as I understand it, the vans are going to be needing, or one van is going to be needing some work, and transportation could use the money. So I will entertain a motion
So moved.
that we recommend to the selectmen
Let
that.
her make a motion.
She already did. Okay.
Second?
Oh, you missed out, Mary. David beat you.
That's okay, I'm recovering.
Oh, okay. All right. Did you get it, Bob?
Yep.
$1,250 to TREAD and $1,250 for the van, for the transportation program. It's actually. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposition, opposing, none, and no abstentions. Thank you. All right. You want those? Sure. It might be helpful for you. All right, now, can we go back to new business, Space for a Senior Center? And let me just introduce this a little to our televised audience. A month ago, we had Paul Avella. Had to stop and think about it for his name. Paul Avella, a retired selectman, came before our board and talked to us about the process if you're interested in gaining things. And he kind of lit a little fire and got us going. He had attended the Friends meeting, and I had invited him to come to our meeting and attend our meeting as well. As a result of that presentation that he made, this board and the Friends decided to hold a joint meeting to come together and to work together regarding trying to get space for a senior center for seniors in Littleton. So we did have a meeting. Our first meeting occurred on January 4th. It was productive, I felt. And as a result of that meeting, we had Chuck DeCoste from the Selectmen was there. Anthony Ansaldi, the acting town administrator, was there. Who else? Trying to remember.
Planning board.
Anna Houston, she was there for a while from the planning board, and then she left.
Alan.
Alan McRae from the finance committee, thank you. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. And then there were some citizens at large that attended.
Paul Valla.
Paul, no,
Whatever.
he did not attend because he was leaving for
he's in
Florida the
Florida.
next day.
Okay.
He has become a
Snowbird.
snowbird, yes, since his wife retired.
Okay.
So he will not be back in town for a while. So we held a meeting. At that meeting, it became known to everyone present that we all know the vacant DCU building on 119, has been sitting there vacant for quite a while. And Chuck DeCoste from the Selectmen said that he had been in touch with the realtor, and people expressed an interest of touring the building. So that was set up for the following Tuesday, which was last week Tuesday. And several of us, friends and COA board members, toured that facility. So that is a lovely, lovely building. Everybody there agreed it was like the Taj Mahal. That's how I like to describe it. But, it's all ADA compliant. It's very airy. It's a very warm building. When you walk in, you feel, welcome, even when it was empty. But you had this nice feeling when you walked in there. So people have been talking about that as a possible senior center. That's not that it's gonna happen or anything, but it needs to be explored. And so, that was just in my simple little way of updating people out there that might be watching this program, the fact that this is happening. We have the town Building and Space Needs Analysis Working Group, which is a mouthful, but that's their job, is to be looking at the need for space for all groups in town. Seniors have been on the list for a long time and have not been able to get anywhere, and we need to come together to do that. All seniors. And as Maureen was just saying, we're going to be trying to get information out, if we can get papers to put it in their paper, about, data and reasons why it is so important for us to pay attention and to advocate together. So I'll open it up for discussion. If any of you have anything you want to add, speak to. I know there has been discussion about meeting more frequently than once a month. And perhaps we do need to do that if we're going to be moving and trying to get things accomplished. I leave that open to people. But, so, I welcome your input and your thoughts.
Let's figure that out in just a little bit. We wait till later.
Yep.
But Nancy made the mention of putting our poster in the electric department's mailings. So when we get information about what we're gonna talk about, that's maybe someplace we could send it, because that way it gets to the whole
Every
town.
senior in the town.
It gets to the whole town. We don't have to worry about whether they're gonna put it in the paper or not.
Yeah, we could call and explore that with them. That's a great idea.
So when that information comes together, maybe we could do that.
Good idea.
I don't know if the bills go out every month.
Oh,
And the
well,
deadline,
One of the others does.
the deadline is
Always
March
getting one.
29th to get this on the warrant.
If we want to have it on a warrant, we have to do it by then because of the May meeting.
And actually, people have talked a little bit about the fact that apparently the building is for sale at a cost of
2.42.
$2.4 million.
Oh, 2.
I heard comments that, they probably might come down a little. And they've been sitting there with a vacant building for a long time. So there are tenants with a 3-year contract in the front side of the building on the second floor. But they take up a very small amount of space. And the total square footage is 20,000 square feet of space available. So, and that, 3 years goes by in a flash. But anyway,
Well-
what people were just saying, just let me finish this train of thought.
Sure.
People were just commenting on the warrant, and the town meeting coming up in the spring. The warrant closes on March 29th, and so if anybody wants to do anything for that town meeting, it has to be done by March 29th. That's why that deadline was mentioned. Go ahead.
The Realtor told us that, before that meeting, that the people who are using the building now, there's very few that work there, and they come now and then. They don't work every day. And they're there a short time. And he said it may be possible to find them another home, since there's not a lot involved with what they're doing. And, or we can charge them rent.
I didn't realize that there was anybody in there still.
Yes.
Upstairs, you don't even know it because they're like on the
Okay.
left side of the building.
Are they DCU people? Who are they?
No, it's a
there's
separate
somebody
company.
Probably
A
rented
small
from
company.
DCU.
Oh,
It's a small
Somebody from
company
regional.
comprised of several banks and financial groups. It's an interesting combination, but anyway. But that's okay, it's a 3-year thing, and, it's not the end of the world. Other thoughts about that?
I know
Or
that,
thoughts about the whole thing about space?
I know that Patty was looking for input from the board members and from
For
anybody else.
For Mary, who didn't come to the meeting, and Ann, that's what I passed out at the
Thank you.
meeting on January 4th, is just the wish list that the Council of Aging had put together last June, and a design from Elder Affairs on senior centers. So I gave it to the Friends, and I passed it out that day,
Thank
so
you.
it was something, a talking point. I went to the DCU tour last Thursday. It's a lovely building. I'm one of those people that looks at pros and cons. Having worked for the state and had to go to a very old building and renovate it, and taking that and trying to put it into the DCU building, but I didn't get a floor plan. But one concern I have, it has no kitchen. And of course, one of our big things with COA is luncheons and women's breakfast, men's breakfast, veterans breakfast. Wouldn't be able to be done for a number of years until we get a septic. So that, to me, that's a con. And when I look at our wish list there, we don't have proper facility here for what I would call a health area, like
Yeah.
blood pressure, podiatry. If somebody gets sick, you'd have to make an area there that's safe and somewhat private. That would take construction. So when we buy that, we're gonna get into renovations. So on top of $2 million is going to be who knows what for construction. There are some offices there, but we're going to have to make other offices for interviewing, set up now barriers. I'm not saying to put up a separate room for exercising, but you have these barriers that you can
Pull
pull across and have an exercise room, pull them away, but you gotta watch what kind of equipment you ask for, because you can't just move equipment to make it space for people. So there's a lot of things that you need to think about when you look at this plan of what everybody's asking for.
The other thing is.
And you have to take the space.
and utilize the
We
best.
wouldn't, I think we need to think about measurements and space of, okay, we want a nice size multi-purpose room for this better term that we don't want to change, because we need one tables in there to be able to accommodate 150 people for lunch, not squeeze in 100 people like we do downstairs. We want to be able to not have to change that all the time. But if we want an exercise room with equipment, we can't move the equipment. So we're taking up a lot of space, and we need to think about that. And I'm just thinking, to get all this ready for the 29th, we have to meet every day, from my perspective. And I just want everybody to think about the big picture as well as the little picture.
Bob?
Yeah, I would just note too that there is a possibility, or at least a potential problem in that if we were to move the things like the diner over there, that there is not enough septic capacity at the present time until the new septic system gets in around the common. So we don't know what that would mean. It is not a negative, it's just something that needs to be understood, that it's just not a drop in and everything's fine. They evidently had 2 bathrooms and a very small snack area, and so they had very little use of
Kitchen facility.
septic.
Oh, thank you.
Bob, I have, through you to Liz. We do not have we have a septic system here. We do not have town sewer here in the town
Yes,
hall.
here this town.
Yeah,
We're connected with
Yes.
others.
To where?
connected to one in the high school.
Yes.
So we're a part of a very large system.
So we're in a town sewer
Yes.
system in this
Well,
building?
a town septic system that is extremely large.
All right, so I want to clarify the difference between sewer and septic. Septic being having a well that needs to be pumped, sewer we don't. Are we connected to a sewer or septic?
Sewer.
There is no sewer right now.
Yes,
That's what I
so-
thought, there was none. So the difference between the facility in the town hall and the DCU is the same.
Well, you know what,
No,
you
no.
need to get the experts in to.
That's what I'm saying, I'm asking the question, I didn't know whether Liz
So
knew the
let
answer.
me answer it.
We're connected
When they
to a
built the new
special
high
lane.
school, when they built the new high school, they built a system that would work all by itself, no septic, no need to pump it. Okay? And then they found out that the population of the school wasn't enough to make it work really well. Okay, so they hitched this up. Okay,
And we make it
and I
work
believe the
good.
new high school, I mean.
The middle school.
The new middle school also is connected to the high school. So there's
And the
no.
fire station and the police
Yeah,
station.
whatever, so anyways, there's no sewage, there's no septic, it doesn't need to be pumped, it's a standalone system.
Okay, thank you.
It is actually, they actually have their own storage area? Sir?
Yes.
Yeah, it handles itself, the whole thing is self-contained,
I didn't know that.
but it needed,
Yes,
with just the high school, it didn't have enough to operate it properly.
Oh, okay, that's fine, I understand that. I just thought it still eventually ended up in a septic, only a very large septic.
No, no,
And that's like, the smart sewer system is not gonna be a septic, it has its own system
It's its own system,
of
that's
managing,
right.
its own system of managing the waste and et cetera, and keeping the nitrogen levels adequate, or whatever. I believe it is. Anyway, Barbara, yes.
Thank you. I like that Patty has her side of the story. It's really good to know these things. She has a con side, and I have a pro side. And my side is that, first of all, we know that we could still keep the kitchen here for Minuteman and lunches, and that we're planning, we in the meantime have a building that is going to be a senior center, for instance. And that there is a small time frame where we can add a kitchen to this building. It isn't like we never can do that. The other thing is, we could have a mini kitchen in the meantime. And we have our lunches catered. They can bring in all the stuff and bring it out. I have heard that there is are other senior centers that don't have a kitchen, and they have their lunches catered to people. You know, and as long as you're using paper plates and everything like that, they take it all away, so it doesn't go in your septic system, any of the garbage. I feel it's important that if we have our eyes on a building, it's important to really look into it, because we haven't before. And this is a pittance in money compared to what we're asking for other things in town. We're not asking 14 million, 40 million, we're saying 2, and we possibly could get it down there. As far as the space is concerned, I've been through it a couple of times. I don't know why, I think it's the artist part or something, but I can visualize what it would look like. There are a lot of offices there.
What?
And there are 2 humongous rooms, which
Okay, now.
one could be for our exercise and line dancing, you know, different things that we need for
Activities.
a bigger group. There are sections you can cut off for having exercise equipment, and we're not talking 20 kinds of exercise equipment. You know, we're talking about, I don't know,
Well, it
a
takes
few,
time.
because we're Littleton, we're small yet.
And also, it's good to have that plan for something like that, but it takes time to raise money to get those things in.
There's places for podiatry, there's places, I mean, already done. We could
Right.
move in and use what they have and then work on the things that we need. Now, we would love to have the whole list of things that we need. But to start out, I think we're gonna have to mix things a little bit. We mix them really big time here, let's face it, with 2 rooms and borrowing the multi-purpose room, because we do. And so I have been trying to do this and I'm not alone, for like 20 years. When I saw this, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it, we're that close. The entrance is like so open and welcoming. You walk in and you can't help but be happy you're there. These other people that are there, like I said, it's possible they could have another place. I don't want us to worry too much about what we will use it for, because looking at that building, there's a lot we can use it for. So I just want you to think hard and try so hard to picture. By the way, Kirby is now working on a video of this place so that people
Great.
can see for themselves. I'm going down after this to help him edit, but this is my pro side, and you have to have the cons.
You do, and there's always gonna be pros and cons to any place, so. Bob and then Nancy. Nancy's after Bob.
The only thing I would comment is, I fully agree with where Barbara's coming from. I would not go to the town without all the answers that we can give them if we're gonna ask them for over $2 million.
Oh, no, you can't.
So it would mean having plans as to how that building would fit, why it would fit, what would be in it. That kind of thing would be vitally important in order for us to get it. And I agree, I don't wanna miss deadlines and I don't wanna do anything, but I think the worst thing we can do is go to the town with a mishmash plan and end up having them say no because you don't know what you're doing.
Well, I understand that too. And, but I'm saying, you have your hands on a building that is not even 10 million. And, we've never had this chance before. And I would not give up a building for even not having a kitchen, because in my mind, I know we'll do it. And we can work with it until then. So,
And there's no question that some things need to be further explored, you know.
It isn't gonna be, it isn't gonna be our money, it's gonna be the town's money.
on the other hand,
And
it's
they
up
need to
to
be
everybody
convinced.
else but
Right.
moi.
And yeah, and there, you know, a lot of it depends on the smart sewer going through,
Yes.
you know, because if the smart sewer doesn't go through, then you have another issue about
Pumping.
longevity and the septic and whether, you know, the status and the condition of it now and all of that. So we need to do a lot more research to gather the data, I think, so,
There's-
and Nancy's trying her, but Liz just was gonna make a comment, and Nancy's next.
Yeah, just quickly, there's other things we need to consider, like the administrative side, like staffing 2 places, maintenance for that building, how we need to come up with a plan for that as well. So there's a lot of things we need to look at.
Yep.
Sorry, Nancy.
Why would you have to staff both places? You could move over there.
Well, we have to keep the kitchen running
And I don't know, that's one of the.
for Meals on Wheels. I mean,
Yeah, but you don't have to be here for that.
that falls under the EHS department.
I was going to say, with Patty said and what Bob said, and everyone so far, renovations probably will be needed, but it's not gonna cost $15,000-$20,000 like it would be to put up a brand new senior center. I mean,
More than that.
Millions.
Billions.
Millions, sorry, billions. And so, to get this building now, I think it has to be. If we don't take it, someone else will. And then we're gonna say, sorry, you know, we missed the boat. But these things that Patty listed on her wish list, I believe can come through, but not by March 29th, no. And probably not by May's town meeting. But it will be there. I'm very confident because our seniors are so strong, we don't wanna give up this time when we're this close.
Lastly, you have to remember something. I'm gonna brag. The Friends have some money for the renovations. That's what we're doing, saving it for this. And we're getting big donations to add to what we have already, which is a good sum. So just remember, we're not going out there for that money, and we have it to use right away.
No,
So-
I agree, and it really is a nice place, and it would be nice if it could work out. But I just think, I personally feel we need to explore the things so we have the answers for those
yes.
Oh,
issues
yeah.
and those
We-
questions.
yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
not-
I've already thought, it's one of the reasons I'm so glad Liz is back, because I thought, I have no idea whether there's even an agreement with Minuteman Services on paper, and we might have a problem with that, I don't know. So we need to just explore things, and that means work.
When is
We
it-
need to get we need to get organized, and if we're going to get this information, so we know what we're dealing with.
When is the next joint meeting?
The next joint meeting as planned, is on February
First
1st.
Friday in February.
February what?
February 1st, and it will be in the selectmen's room downstairs, not over at the police station this time.
103.
103.
Yeah.
Yes, I have reserved that room for that meeting, and it's at 1:30, I believe.
Yep. I do agree with you on the Minuteman thing, that we need to explore, because depending on what they need to do their Meals on Wheels, we could probably work it so that we can build something enough to do it over.
Well, we need to, that's right, but we need to find that out.
Yeah,
So
that's
we're
what I'm
not,
saying.
And I think
we're
their
not making
meals
bad
come in
mistakes,
cooked.
and then finding out after the fact.
The meals
you know.
come in cooked.
So,
Yeah, we still need the commercial kitchen though.
Right,
Yeah.
but I'm saying,
ultimately.
they come in cooked.
But you still have to have,
I agree.
Anyway, so, but it just means we gotta get organized and get the answers to these questions, basically, and I agree with Bob, you gotta, if you're gonna do it, you gotta do it right, that's all.
I was wondering if it's possible
Well,
to meet every,
you'll be made to do it right.
Well, this is true.
You'll be made to
And
do
we
it right.
neglected to mention, I was thinking Alan McRae was there, he's on the FinCom, and,
Gary Wilson.
Gary Wilson was there, he's from FinCom, he was also, and it was interesting at one point at the tour, they were talking about, well, and they said it to, I think, several of us in the, around them at the time, well, even if you weren't using all the office space upstairs, what if you rented it to like a chiropractor or somebody who doesn't use,
Oh, yeah.
use a lot of, doesn't have a problem with, isn't gonna add a lot to the septic system, but you might be able to get some income too out of it.
Yeah.
Because it is a large space. We also have to figure out exactly, for sure, and review what our, senior population will be in 20,000, and what is the square footage that is recommended by the state.
Isn't it
You know.
15,000? And this is 20-something?
We're already in 19, and it was 20,000, that's what the needs assessment came out with, I think the year 2030.
I mean, space,
Oh, 16,000 square feet.
15,000.
Right, and the
Yeah.
building is 20,000 square feet.
So, but, anyway, and we are growing, and we might even exceed that, so, but the point is, we can get into all this stuff, but we don't need to do that right now. We need to decide, okay, it's gonna take work. Somebody, and we need to get the information so that we're organized.
It will take work, but what I see happening, if we hesitate because of small things, you might as well decide that we're gonna be doing this same meeting 10 years
I'm
from
not
now.
suggesting that we hesitate.
No.
Not at all.
I think we should meet every Friday from now on. Give this Friday a break because Liz is just back. I would like us to
So
meet
much for your
starting
day off.
January 25th and then going every Friday until the deadline.
I don't know, how do people feel about that? Yes, Bob?
Is it possible to ask Liz to look into the possibility of getting someone to come in and help us to lay out with the plans we have of that building and what we have for a list of needs to help us to see what might fit, what might not fit, approximate cost of renovations and so forth, so we have something detailed to talk about. I don't think we can do it by our next double meeting, but it would be extremely helpful, and maybe there are funds available for that kind of thing.
I can't hear you, because you're talking like this.
No, we were talking about, I was just asking, is it possible to have Liz look into the possibility of getting funding somewhere for working out, taking the plan of the DCU building, taking the list that we have and seeing how it can be fitted and so forth, so that we have something more definitive to talk about.
The other possibility is, quite frankly, I think, the town committee for space. We should be having a meeting coming up. I was looking at the notes from the last meeting, and we should have had a meeting on the 9th, which we didn't have, so I'm sure we will be having another one soon. And they are very organized, and there are very knowledgeable people in that group, and they know how to go about getting expert help too. So, and Liz, you've
Well, I
been
know
a part
that
of that.
it amazes me every once in a while somebody goes up, oh yeah, we have people, we are required by the state to do it a certain way.
Yes.
There are people available for a minimal amount of money
So
that
we
could
can-
help us to do
we
this.
can explore
Rather
it,
than
yeah.
us sitting there and trying to do it ourselves and, not doing the
Well,
professional job.
You're right, and that's why I think that we could explore that. Liz attends those meetings now that she's back. Hopefully, she's gonna be able to attend them.
And I suggested Friday meetings, because that's the only day David can make it.
Yeah.
But we
What?
can't meet every day, but we need to meet a lot, and so once a week, I don't think is asking a lot. But we might not all be able to attend all the meetings, but at least it's a start, and we can all get assignments to what we have to check on, what we need to do.
I think the first step might be to, actually speak to the town committee to see what they would recommend, maybe, do you think, as to how to go about getting some of this information, I
I'd
think?
like to do that.
I think so too. So, yes, David?
Yeah, well, I mean, just, as soon as you said meet with town committees, it just made me think, they're gonna wanna see a floor, probably wanna see some kind of, like, what do you have in mind? A floor plan? Okay, what's a floor plan?
We have the floor plan from that building, yeah, sorry.
No, what do you want in a,
Oh.
not what's there, what
We can do that.
How would that change? Okay, and, is it gonna need renovations? And then
It will.
that's when PMBC gets involved. Okay, so they're gonna have to be told or talked to soon.
It's
And I don't
PNBC.
know if you're gonna need an OPM on that either, so that's all.
Well, that's all
What's
town
PNBC?
stuff.
What's
What is
PNBC?
Permanent Municipal Building Committee.
Committee.
They handle every building that's built or.
And that doesn't come from us, that has to come through the town.
So somebody really needs to talk to Anthony, like tomorrow. if
Well,
you wanna start.
Anthony was at the meeting, and that's why I was suggesting that we take it to that group. Exactly why, I was suggesting that Liz and I take it to that group.
If
And
they-
Alan McRae's on that group, and so, so that we can get organized, you're right, you're absolutely
Yeah,
right.
because if they're not plugged in, that's just it'll take more time to. do
Yeah,
that.
it's gonna be a waste of time, I mean, we don't have the knowledge, really, to be able to gather some of this and do it right, so, I agree. So perhaps that could be the first step, we could explore that option and then get back to you, so that we know what to do at a meeting, do you know what I'm saying? It will give us some guidance, I think. And, we have Chuck DeCoste is chair of that committee, he was at the meeting. Cindy Napoli is on that committee, she's
was there.
been advocating for seniors. And so I think, and as I said, Alan McRae is, and then Cindy, Liz and I are there. So I think we can convey to them exactly what we're looking for and the help we would like to get some guidance with.
It's a good
We have a
idea,
lot
I
of
just
support,
hope that
yeah.
it doesn't take weeks to get this done.
Right.
Well,
That's the concern.
Well,
I
it's-
agree, I agree.
That's the problem, though, it's gonna take what it takes. Once you can't rush some people, it's gonna take the time.
well,
that
and
it
some
takes.
things you just can't
Well,
get done
No,
that fast.
yeah.
But the FinCom members who were there were very clear that we needed it to be done by March
Well, if we
29th
were
to
gonna-
go on the warrant.
If we were going to put something on the warrant then, that's the closing date,
So
that's
we
right.
really need to be seeing how quickly we can get this information to go to that committee to see what their needs and requirements are.
We'll find that out. I think we can. All right.
I don't, sorry, I don't know how much information we'll be able to get now from Anthony since he has not been chosen.
Well,
We're gonna have to deal with the new person.
Did they choose somebody?
We don't know yet.
We don't know that, yeah, and that's
So it
not,
doesn't-
we're not on, that's not the topic that we're discussing here at the moment.
Well, so, all right, so we'll just stop right there.
So, okay, so can we agree that Liz and I will convey to the Space Needs Committee, and get hold of Chuck or Cindy, either one it can be. Cindy runs the meetings in Chuck's absence, so, and get some guidance for us to
Are they
try to help.
scheduled, are they scheduled for another meeting?
Well, I was just looking, no, I have not heard. However, the last tentative meetings were either going to be on the 9th, which obviously is past, today's the 14th, or the 23rd. And I would guess so that we might have a meeting on the 23rd.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if they said that they were waiting for I'm not sure of the name of the company that they're dealing with.
Vertex.
Vertex. Whether they're waiting for the report that they're doing?
No, they just met with Vertex, last week, I believe,
Yeah,
and clarified, you know, and gave them some guidelines and everything, and Anthony met with, and Chuck, I think, I don't know who was at the meeting. It wasn't the committee, the whole committee.
yeah.
And, the contract, you know, had been returned in November, and then they were gonna be meeting, and that was going to be happening with the holidays, messed up things a little bit there. So, I'm not exactly sure, but I know Vertex is on board. They have been asked for some clarifications about the complex down in the back, but they also can help us with this too.
Yeah.
And Anthony did say that to me.
Well, that's what I'd like to find out, because they keep talking about a 3-building complex.
Yeah.
Okay, one of which is supposed to be
The library.
library, and then the other is supposed to be a senior center and then town administration, is what I've heard. Okay, so it would be really nice to have an answer as to whether they're gonna move forward with that, because that makes
Well,
two
they-
choices.
Well, that's right, and that Vertex is on board, and they're on board to help us design, you know, that, but they're on board for other things, so,
Yeah.
you know, and Chuck's aware of that too. So I'm not the most knowledgeable person about, RFQs and all of that, but I know a little bit about them, I'm learning, so.
But one of the things that was brought up when they talked about this 3-building complex was that they were looking at it being about, not exact, but about $10 million each for each building in that complex. Yep, that was what was said at a, that was what was said at a
The library, we
meeting.
already know the figures for the library, so.
Right, which is more
You're
than 10
talking
million.
about the other 2 buildings, and that, the total package would be over $30 million, over $30
For the
million.
3 together.
Or just the two?
That was a wild, I mean, nothing concrete. So if that was just a guesstimate type of thing, I believe, I could best
Right, but one of
describe
the
it.
things that Barbara brought up is the fact that if the DCU building meets the requirements,
Right.
and we're talking 2 million, even if we needed another, let's just say double for renovations, that's still $6 million less than the projected what it would be.
For our new building. Correct, I agree, I totally
And
agree.
it's there.
I know, I totally agree with all of that, it's just that we have to find out how to go about it in the right way and to get the right
Yeah,
information.
we have to do it right the first time.
Right.
So-
The problem is that we don't know what's step 1, what's step 2.
Well, that's what we're gonna find out.
No, that's what I'm saying. We don't know that.
Step 1 is to find out.
There you go.
That's what
Okay.
Paula Bella said, which is strategic planning, that is a must.
And the reality is that in government, things don't always happen all that fast that you'd like them to happen, but we'll see. I don't know how fast or slow it's gonna be or whatever either.
Well, you know, if there's a lot of boards involved, so it sounds like it could take some time. This is January, so we get till the end of March. This is what might happen. If it doesn't, then we'd be at the town meeting with flyers
Mm-hmm.
already
And have a special
to give
town
out to the
meeting with-
people, all right? Talking about November.
No, we really can't, you know, we
Just
can
do-
guess,
we do
but
what we
I think
can.
we need to do is get what we can, figure out the best strategies, try to break us out, you know, get some things accomplished and then go from there. Yes, Bob?
I hate to do this, but if you remember from the joint meeting, the idea was that the DCU building was going to be an interim center, to get us a short-term need and to meet those needs, but it really might not meet the long-term needs of a complete senior center. And we need to face that possibility too.
I don't remember that. I was at the meeting.
Oh, yes.
Because it is going to need the long term. It might not make 20 years, but it is gonna take at least 10, 15 years.
Well, I mean, you know, I learned since that meeting that when you're talking renovations, you have to remember that when it's a town building, you have to have union and whatever, certain contractors do the renovations, and it costs you twice the amount it would cost you in your home, for
minimum
example.
wage.
So, you know, renovations are not cheap. The point was, renovations are costly. Then you're talking about purchasing furniture. You know, you gotta
Right.
purchase furniture and things, and so, you know, money will go quickly, that's for sure. But we're not even there yet, in my mind, really.
Getting ahead of ourselves, really.
All right,
We're way ahead.
so we will, yes, we are. So Liz and I, or Liz primarily, will try to get some specific information for us to help guide us.
Welcome back.
Yes. You didn't know you were getting put to work right away, huh?
No, I did not.
Did you know that, actually, we held the meeting at the fire station and got it taped?
Tina, she.
Okay.
So that it could be
Police
put,
station.
I mean, the police station, I'm sorry, the police station, so that you could watch it from home and be up, but then tape actually was not good in the very first 15 to 20 minutes, the audio was no good.
Oh.
They had a problem with it, they fixed it, but, so anyway, yeah, cause it was like, yeah, okay, so, that was a suggestion though, so that you could see that meeting.
Can you ask your board if they would like to meet every Friday, starting January 25th?
I can ask, would you like to make a decision about that now?
I am willing to, I have nothing going on the 25th, so
I'm
I'm
willing.
willing to meet.
On the 25th?
I'm willing.
So you want a joint meeting?
Yes.
We already said a joint.
Can I ask though, Nancy, I'm certainly willing to do it, but Marge said that they were gonna go to this other space meeting and find out,
I don't know when it's gonna be for sure.
yeah, I mean, should we
Well, we
plan
don't-
on the 25th
And we can cancel.
and we can cancel? Yeah, okay. Because if we don't have anything to do,
Oh, we'll have something to do.
yeah, I don't like to meet just to meet.
No, I don't think any of us do. So the 25th at what time?
1:30?
But that won't work for the next week or the next week.
Well,
What is the 25th?
Because
It's
the
a
next
Friday.
Friday,
What is the
we meet
meeting
for the COA
Joint meeting.
FinCom.
as
This
opposed
one.
to the first?
But then the next week, we are meeting.
No.
On a Friday?
they want to
Yep.
meet more
For the
frequently, every
awareness
week.
committee.
So there will be one on the first, but you also want one on the 25th.
They're requesting one on the 25th and the first.
I say, let's just have one, okay, and then you're talking about the 25th?
Yeah.
Let's have one on the 25th and go from there. Don't make any plans for after that, because we might have all kinds of different information by then.
And we already have one on the board, on the books for the first week in February anyway, so we have 2 weeks in a row
Yeah.
Yes.
that we've already got on the books.
Okay, February 1st and January 25th.
And where's that meeting gonna be?
I don't know, I have to see what room's available.
And at what time?
1:30.
1:30.
So it's COA and Friends. 1:30. I'm going to see if I can get room 103, because I think that would be desirable. And Kirby has indicated he would like to tape the meeting so he can get them out. So,
Very good.
and 103 is a better location than the police station conference room.
So this first meeting is going to be the 25th, if we suppose so vote, at 1:30, and place to be determined.
Correct.
And then what about the meeting on February 1st?
Still going on.
That is already planned and the room is
We just leave
reserved.
that in place.
And
okay.
that, we're leaving that in place. Do you need to vote on this? Would you like to vote on the,
I don't think we need to, I think we just show up.
is
And
everybody,
these will both be board meetings.
No, there'd be
Joint-
joint meetings.
joint meetings
Doesn't make any difference, there's still a board, official board meeting
They
of
are.
this board.
for the COA? They
That
have to be
last meeting.
posted. So, they will be posted and so, I do have consensus though amongst you, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Everybody agrees, okay.
I'm willing.
I don't know about Patty and Mary, you've been quiet. Are you okay with this or?
Are you able to go?
She said yes.
Okay. All right, I have it. I will take care of trying to get the room or ask Sue to do it for me, maybe.
one thing people should do is review the list that was asked to do on January, whenever we met,
Yes.
and critique the list. If you don't think we need something, cross it off.
Or if you think we need something and it's not on there, please add it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I saw one room and while we were touring and I thought, what a nice library this would be
Yeah.
over here. You know, comfortable area for somebody to go in and sit and read or whatever.
Can we move on?
Yes, we can. Oh, may I? Are we done?
Well, we have reports.
I know. So, we have the budget reports, Bob, when you're ready.
Not any.
You don't have any, okay? They're tabled.
Tina's
We're
gonna
having
make it
problems
quick.
still getting that information. All right, Tina and Nicole, or Tina or Nicole, or both of you?
I'll just jump in and thank Tina and Nicole for all the work they did while I was out. They did some really critical reports that popped up and worked really, really hard.
And that toughest one was Nicole did that toughest
Yeah.
one from the Department of Transportation. She did an excellent job on it.
Good for
Thank
you.
you very much.
Good for you.
Thank you.
I was winging it.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
We know you're both good, so.
So February, like we said earlier, coffee with the editor, February 4th from 11 to 12. She said she's bringing coffee and donuts. So, Living Alone and Living Well group is February 21st. Social Anxiety group, February 12th and 26th. The addiction support group is temporarily on hold. We're trying to figure out a new day and time that's going to work for more people. So I'll keep you posted on that. Caregiver support group meeting, February 27th. And Marissa Graham from River Court of Groton is going to host. And Healing Conversations, February 21st at the Harvard Council on Aging. And also March 12th, and there's another Healing Conversations at the Westford COA on the 12th.
And what is that?
That's bereavement, right?
Right,
It's
when
bereavement support.
Karen Campbell, the bereavement support person, left, they put these in place of it. Karen was a weekly support group that was held at the library every week, but they're only able to do periodic ones till they can get maybe more staff to do something weekly again. And we'll be hosting some in the future. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
You?
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was short.
It's a short month, February.
Everyone's aware that they've switched offices. We could have made that announcement actually to our viewers. But Nicole has moved into the space where Tina was, and Tina has moved to where Nicole was. So, and that seems to have worked out well for both of them, I guess. All right, do we have any other business? Other business that may properly come before the board?
No answer on that?
What?
Angus,
I don't have an answer for you. I told you all I know.
6 months, 7 months, he
I
has
understand,
never.
Mary. I
Mary, we
told
know
you.
that.
I told you
Huh?
the
We know it.
information.
They're working on it.
Oh, they have, I
Anthony
didn't
would-
know that, I could ask, can't I?
No, you asked
I move that
earlier,
we
and we
adjourn.
told you Anthony was working on it.
He said to hold off and ask later.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
There
Isn't
was
that
an
what
answer.
you meant?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, when I asked
Mary,
before,
no,
he
Mary,
said, wait.
Mary, the question was asked, and I responded. Anthony was in contact with him, and you nodded okay to me. So that's where we're
I
at.
thought more would be coming from Anthony then. No.
Well, Anthony has been very busy,
Oh, yeah,
very busy.
yeah.
So, and I have been keeping in touch with him. I did not get an update prior to this meeting, so I don't know what's happened today. So, okay? But that's where it's at.
I move that we adjourn.
I second.
I need a motion to accept the reports, please, first. Thank you.
I make a motion to accept the budget monthly,
No, we didn't do that one.
There isn't any.
the reports as
the outreach.
stated
The outreach coordinators.
from outreach.
Second.
All those in favor of accepting the outreach coordinators' reports?
Aye.
Okay, we're good to go. Now I'll entertain a motion to
Motion to adjourn.
adjourn.
Second.
Well, it's been moved and seconded that we adjourn, Bob, at 2:49.
I
All
gotta go
those
pay
in
my
favor?
taxes now.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Make
Although,
appointments.
only one person's in favor of adjourning.
We're in favor. We're in
What would you
favor.
like to vote, please?
Aye.
Aye, you're all in favor of adjourning? Okay, thank you.